I tell you that story?
I think so.
In my PhD process, there's 3 major milestones in PhD: prelims, qualifying, and then your thesis. And the prelims are the end of your first year. They cover basically, they're 2 3-hour exams at UC Davis. They were analysis and algebra for pure math folks. If you pass those exams, you get to go on. If you fail, you're in jeopardy of getting kicked out of the system. Those exams cover basically everything that you would learn in your undergraduate degree, plus the first year of graduate. It's the equivalent of like a master's degree. Fucking high stakes. At that point in my life, my parents had made it clear. I'd maybe told, you remember this? You're off the dole. My dad's kind of a old school dude. Like he's born in 44. Like, and at one point when I was finishing my undergraduate, like he looked at me and he used the following words: "When college is over, you're off the dole." Like that, those are his fucking words, right? Like it was like a one sentence. And basically what it says is like, don't come home. Like you got to fucking figure it out, right? I mean, and I have a feeling that if I would have showed up at home, they'd house me for like a month, right? But like, that was it. And my PhD, like 100% of my funding and my rent money and my food money was my ability to be in that program. So if I failed out of that program, not only would I not finish my PhD, but I'd lose my rent money, I'd lose my food money, and then I'd basically be homeless. Not from the standpoint of like my parents don't love me, but like the expectation was fucking figure it out, right? Like you're an adult. Could you imagine that? Like imagine what that feels like in that position, except that you don't have a place to go, right?
Yeah.
So like one of the things that the psychocybernetics comes in, so I actually have 2 strategies that I find really useful. Number 1, lean into the fear. So instead of, one of the things that's interesting about fear is that it takes up as much space as I give it. So what I recognized was if I wasn't ready to fail, I could never actually succeed. Because what would happen is I would constantly be in the limbo of trying to avoid failure. But in trying to avoid failure, I would actually be hijacking my mind for the stuff that I needed to get done on a daily basis. And so at one point in this whole process of getting ready for my prelims, I was at a Mexican restaurant at the corner of G Street and 2nd, I think. I could get the Tres Amigos maybe? No, that's the one in, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's over by what used to be Little Dog and Jack in the Box.
Is it El Burrito?
Yeah. It might be. It's on the corner. It's over by, what was it called again?
El Burrito.
It may be that one. It's like on the corner over by the, I don't know, A Street or whatever.
It might be El Burrito or Davis Taqueria. There's only 2 on that side of town. Yeah.
Anyways, when I was at that fucking restaurant and I was like scared shitless. I was like literally thinking to myself, like, I'm going to fucking fail out. And then I realized like that day I had spent 6 hours studying, but I only got like 3.5 hours of actual content because I was so worried about this. And then I realized like, okay, what if I failed out? And then I looked, like it's been a dream of mine since I was 5 to speak 5 languages, right? And Spanish was a huge one because all of my friends when I was growing up, like Romina, my first crush spoke Spanish. My first girlfriend, Veronica Tapia, spoke Spanish at home. Like my fucking friends at school spoke Spanish. And I was at that fucking restaurant and I looked at the dishwashers and I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do that job. Like I fucking said that I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do that job. And I would fucking do it. The bathrooms would be clean as shit. The dishes would be clean as shit. I probably would never own a home, but the fact of the matter is I could pay fucking rent. I know I could pay rent in Davis, right? I could still have kids. It wouldn't be a super luxurious one. But like, if I fucking fail out of that, I'm going to get that job right there, right? And the moment that I had that thought, one of the things that I did for myself is every time that fear would come up, I would say, if and when I fail out of this program, I'm going to get a fucking job washing dishes and I'm going to learn Spanish. That's something I've been interested in doing since I was like 5, right? And the moment that I did that, I could release that fear. Like I could literally just be like, okay, well, fuck it. Like do the best that you can. And if you don't, you get to learn how to speak Spanish. like, you know, like, right? not that that's what I was aiming for, but at least in that way, like I could lean into the fear and realize like, okay, worst case scenario, I pay rent by fucking being a dishwasher. Not a bad life, right? I'll fucking eat well, I'll speak Spanish. And okay, so that was number one, like lean into the fear and don't give it power, because when I give it power, it hijacks my mind. Number two,